Hello my comets. Welcome back to my channel. And this is technically part 2 of my Wings of Fire hybrid challenge. For this first character, I spun a Rainwing Leafwing, whose name is Bleeding Heart. And no, not the bleeding heart you're thinking of, the plant. They're actually quite pretty, and they're probably my favorite type of flower. I also think Heart here will be a reoccurring Valentine's Day character. I don't really have a backstory for this girlie, so if y'all want to come up with one in the comments, feel free to. Even though I think she would have worked better as a Silk Leaf hybrid, I think Heart turned out very pretty. I was kind of blanking on ideas when I spun a Rain Leaf hybrid, because I've never made one before. But once I had one idea for her design, I knew pretty much exactly what I was doing for the rest. I also tied in some Valentine's Day aspects to her design, which I think I did pretty decently. But I struggled so much with her coloration, as you'll see later. For this next one, I spun a Sand Sea hybrid whose name is Bluefin. Her design actually came pretty easy for me, with some struggling with her colors here and there, but that's pretty normal. I do think I drew her a bit weirdly though, but to be fair, I never draw this angle, and it's a weird one. I don't really have a backstory for her either, but this is what I got. Bluefin is a very odd dragon, not just because she appears to be a blue sandwing, it's because she can't breathe out of the water. She nearly died right after hatching because her parents weren't aware that she could only breathe with her gills. While she was still in her egg, her body never started developing her lungs, but instead only developed her gills. She needs to stay underwater at all times, and since she can't speak aquatic, it's hard for her to speak at all. Aside from all that, Bluefin actually loves her life living in desert oases and sometimes the ocean. But she really only stays in the pond next to her mother's hut. For the next and last hybrid for this video, I spun a Silk Sky hybrid whose name is Cotton Cloud. Those of y'all who've been on my channel for a while might recognize her, because she's actually one of my older characters. I think she was the hybrid I had the most fun drawing, probably because I didn't need to plan out a completely new design for a new character. She was also the hybrid that took the shortest amount of time to draw out of all three of them, that being an hour and a half. I, once more, don't have any backstory for this character, but I do know a bit about her personality. I imagine she's a bit naive, very excitable, and very fascinated by every little thing. Probably also pretty vain in some ways, and liking shiny jewelry and other such things. But also very loving, you know? She might not be the brightest, but she's very compassionate and empathetic. And also probably loves shiny beetles. And that's it for this video. If you want to, you can leave a comment saying which hybrid was your favorite. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.